Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first episode, official episode, I should say, of Beyond the Ink. And what are we going to title this when Matt met Austin?
Be the intro of Austin and Matt.
This is basically going to be more of the backstory, like how this all came together and where we ended up meeting. And it's kind of like coming full circle because guess what? We met tattooing and now I'm going back in to work more on the sleeve. So we'll have progressively, more and more episodes where you'll get to see his sleeve develop. And then
I'll probably come back in for some episodes.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Here and there, the more I get them. Probably not every tattoo, but for most of my tattoos, I'm going to try to make an appearance here and there.
Yeah, so he won't be just behind the scenes all the time. It'll be some good stuff.
I might even try to pop in some episodes. I got a couch set up over here that you guys can't see, but
it's not the casting couch, perverts.
So I will try to make an appearance every now and then, depending on how you guys react to it. If you want to hear more from my side of things every now and then. If not, I'm going to stay behind the camera.
It's going to be one of those, if you'd like to hear from Austin, press 1. So yeah, it's one of those things where we're going to have a good time. So without further ado, welcome to Beyond the Ink.
Yes, and it's pretty much what we're going to do with this. As we talked about more in the intro, it's going to be more of a regular feel. You're just hanging out, getting tattooed. And
we had that just little discussion about the tattoo etiquette and
something I didn't even know.
He didn't know. It's cool. Hey, no worries.
My age, we use the word
again.
Tatted.
10-year age difference is definitely going to be. It's going to prove. You'll see it a lot throughout this whole process, this whole journey.
Most definitely.
You're going to have a.
Yeah, I didn't know that was in the tattoo world. I didn't know that word
slightly frowned upon.
Was frowned upon. I've always said it, so I'm gonna correct myself if I say it.
It's just slightly frowned upon in the professional establishment.
But
yeah, hey, it happens. So.
More about us, I guess.
Yeah, inquiring minds want to know.
We kind of went into it briefly in the intro. We met. I went MIA. Didn't talk to you for a year.
Yeah.
Everything was great. Relationship-wise with us, but I was just totally not in the mindset to have relationships with any human being at all.
Yeah. And again, an artist usually takes, we're emotional creatures, man. So it's almost like you get a little offended by it. Like, oh man, was it something? Did he not like the tattoo? Was it, I started asking myself all these questions because I remember texting you because I always like to follow up.
Yeah.
And I like to say, hey, how's your tattoo? How's it healing up? Anybody that knows me knows that I will text or call or something, just to do a follow up and ask, how's the tattoo? How's it?
You still did that. I don't even think I responded.
You just didn't respond.
I didn't do that to a lot of people. I just went, again, totally MIA from. It wasn't just Matt. It was everybody in my life. I went MIA from.
Yeah.
Even my parents at home. I'm living at home. I still am. Planning on moving out soon. But I didn't talk to my parents. I lived with them. I would go in my room, do nothing, eat my cookies, eat my desserts, and
just
do nothing with my life except for go to work and go back home and do nothing again. And where all that stemmed off from, what were you saying?
Oh, I was going to say, because you used to play basketball and you were passionate about doing stuff like that. So
that's kind of where I was going to go. Before all of this, I'll start with high school, I guess. I played basketball. I ended up playing volleyball my senior year. Was pretty successful with that. Yeah. Loved exercise and working out and just athletics in general and sports. And everything was great. And then I think that happens to most people. They have that relationship where they put everything into it and it doesn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
But at that time, I had my girlfriend move in with me the end of my senior year of high school. She was living with me her entire senior year of high school, and ended up finding out she was cheating on me 2 years into the relationship, and that's a long story short, but there was a lot of stuff in between it, and I just went into depressive mode. I didn't know what the heck I was going to do with my life. I had my whole life planned out around her, and we were both going to go be teachers, and it was all really stupid now that I look back on it. Like planning your
Hindsight
life
is always 20/20. I mean,
planning your life around a person in high school.
Yeah.
And I mean, it can work. It does work, but it
oh yeah.
doesn't work for everybody.
I mean, no.
It all works out in the end. I end up getting with my girlfriend now, Bella. The way we met was in San Diego on vacation. I slid in the DMs and asked her when our wedding was going to be. That was my first.
Was that your pickup line?
That was my pickup line. Never used it before.
Pretty slick.
And honestly, looking back on it now, it might even be the girl I marry. So if it does, guys, use that because it gets the girl's attention. So that's more of what happened with me and Matt. It was right around when I got tatted at that time.
Yeah, tattooed, right?
Or tattooed. He's gonna correct me a million times, and it's fine.
And that again, that's that 10-year age difference where it's like.
That's just what I've called it my whole life. It's gonna be so hard not to say it.
We'll be re-education, at the same time.
As long as you guys know it's not good, don't use it.
As long as you know that certain shops, we like it, but other than, we're trying not to use our sweet tat guns. We don't.
Now that I think about it, it really is it's like a slang word.
Yeah.
And I can see why it isn't used.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fix it. Just give me time.
Just give it some time. You'll be all right. So we met through a different client of mine.
Yes. One of my best friends.
Yeah, one of your best friends, and that was Mr. Ledesma, right?
Yeah. If I want to break down that story now, I can kind of go and dissect it.
Yeah.
So during all that time with my first girlfriend.
And that's right, because I met you, and you were.
I was with her.
You were with her.
Yeah.
And it was like.
That's when I got my first tattoo, and everything went great.
Yes.
And then it was like a month after that, kind of like when you're starting to fall in love with me.
That's right.
That's when I found out everything that was going on, and I just didn't answer anybody. That's when it finally hit that I found out she was cheating on me and made her move out, and it just ended up not being the most ideal situation for me, and I just again shut everybody out. And it was right at that time. So that's why with the whole year, it took a year before you tattooed again. It was like exactly a year to the date almost.
That's right. Because
I ended up doing the second tattoo.
I remember asking Matt the same thing. I was like, hey, what happened to Austin?
I don't even think I talked to Matt.
No, because
he is one of my top 3 best friends. Known him since first grade.
Is he a 3 a.m. friend?
He is a 3 a.m. friend.
That's good.
Yes.
See, 3 a.m. friends are, for those that don't know, is like if you're broken down on the side of the road and it's 3 a.m. and you call that 1 or 2 or 3 people that you pretty much only get about 4 or 5 of those people in life. They'll call you, they'll drop everything and go get your ass. Or go back you up.
Me and him
whatever.
talk we'll go 2 weeks talking every day, and then we won't talk for 6 months. And the second we talk again, we can rekindle it. We're grown adults. We don't need to talk every day to still have that connection.
But it's cool because once you start talking, it's you never stopped. You just pick up where you left off. So
exactly, that's kind of how it is with him.
That's a 3 a.m. friend for sure. That's cool. Yeah. So I was tattooing him, and I think he was still working at that jumping place.
Pump it up. Jump it.
Or jump zone or
almost got it
Sky Zone or some shit like that. And then he was going off to college. He was going to play football, I believe, and then he didn't.
I don't need to
he
share
did
Matt.
For a little bit. Yeah,
we should probably get Matt on the show. And
we
he
should.
Has plenty of stories.
Yeah,
too.
we should.
He was going through some stuff. I haven't talked to him.
I remember that.
With his girlfriend, if he's with her now, or
I don't know.
I don't know what's going on, but they've had their ups and downs. Every relationship does. I hope.
Oh, yeah.
I hope they're still together. I haven't talked to him, like I said, in a couple months.
Yeah.
I probably will actually.
In hindsight, I gotta admit, I didn't like your girlfriend at the time. I thought she was kind of a...
I think she came in for part of the tattoo.
She did, and she was just kind of a little snot. You know, I mean, not to talk shit, but
I mean, everyone has said the same thing. So
she just had this,
talking shit, I guess.
this attitude of like, meh, you know, like, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing that? You know, and
yeah.
you know, again, I don't mean to bring up old wounds
No, I don't
and
care.
shit, but
I moved
yeah.
on now. I'm happy.
Oh,
I
yeah,
hope she's
dude.
happy.
Bella's amazing.
Hopefully, she's even grown. My ex has grown
Yeah.
as a person too. I mean, I don't wish anything bad upon people.
Yeah.
People make mistakes, but yeah, she wasn't for me. She was not my style of how I wanted to be told what to do. Not that my girlfriend tells me what to do, but you want to definitely listen to your significant
Yeah.
other. So
You want
the
it's a
things she
team
wanted
thing.
me to do and to be weren't the same things I wanted to be and do. So
Yeah.
just didn't align.
Just didn't work out.
I was blinded.
I was blinded. But, you know, vagina has that power over you. I'm just saying, it'll blind you. We started working. Shit, what was that? 2000.
16.
I want to say, yeah.
Might have been 17. No, I don't know, actually. Now that I really think about it. I graduated, I think it was like mid-16.
Yeah.
No, it was 17 because I graduated 16 and then I got it after I graduated
That's
that
right.
October.
That's right.
So it was October 2017. When I got my first tattoo. Went MIA for a year, but then I finally rekindled it 2018 of October-ish. And then this whole podcast has been evolving since then.
Yeah.
And now it's almost another year coming up.
Well,
every
because
month.
after we finally started up again, you know, I was mentioning like, hey, I want to start a podcast, and you kind of like, do you? And yes, actually, I do.
In the back of my mind, I was like, are you prepared for this?
And in my mind, I'm like, fuck no, but it's gonna be fun. Like you know, half the stuff that I do, you have to, you know, I don't want to sound like an after-school special or anything because they don't have those anymore. See, I'm old. But you know, you gotta take chances, man. You gotta take risks in life that are gonna be good. You know, like something that's gonna bear fruit, something that's gonna eventually help people out. I've always been a talker. I've always had that, you know, gift of gab is what a lot of people used to say, and I never knew where it was gonna really take me. So when I started getting into tattooing, it was like, dude, you talk a lot. And so I was like, yeah, because I wanted to hear everybody's stories, you know.
Yeah, that gift is what can bring this.
But we had a
bring
cool,
this good vibes and good. I don't even know what the word is.
like,
but it'll work.
we were talking, we were hanging out, and it was cool. It was a good session. It was like, oh man, this kid's cool, you know. And then nothing, you know. But then when you told me, and again, we're probably going to get into some stuff that some of our viewers are going to, and our listeners are going to understand more about you and I throughout this whole process. But
yeah, well, yeah, definitely ask me some stuff.
Like,
bring up some stuff you want to get out there, because I might not be thinking about it. Whatever you think.
Well, when you started talking about how bad things were, you know, and mentally, like, you were just like not there. You're like, man, I'm ready to check out. Fuck this. I don't want to do this anymore, you know.
Yeah.
And that kind of caught me off guard. Just gonna be honest with you, I was just like, you know, and I know I've said this before, but now that we're recording and everything, but it's kind of like, I didn't understand it at first. I was like thinking to myself, you're an only child. You're, you know, from what I knew, you know, it's like your family loves you, man. You like you got, you know, cool parents. Mm-hmm. You know, I didn't understand where all the depression came from, you know, because you were just, all of a sudden you weren't the same dude. You were like really down and just.
No, I got really good at hiding the turmoil that was going on in my life.
Yeah.
I think everything that happened with my relationship just brought it out, and I couldn't hide my emotions anymore, and that's where I just And when I didn't know how to hide them, because I did my whole life, it was just like weird. And that's when I stopped talking to people.
Yeah.
Because from the outside, I'm only child.
Mm-hmm.
I got a good life. I got my mom and dad are still together, and I don't get everything I want, but my parents provided for me as a child, and I
Oh, of course.
have the things that some kids aren't able to get. I am able to get them,
Yeah.
and I'm fortunate for that. But then there's also an aspect that I missed on my life that a lot of people don't see, and that's that I have a half brother that for the first 15, 16 years of my life, I never had a relationship with for the most part. Him and I have finally rekindled that, and it's going great now. Now that I'm an adult, because he's about to turn, I don't want him to say this and get wrong, but he's about to turn 40. I don't know if he's already 40. I think he's 39. I don't remember. But there's a huge gap. So when I'm a kid in 10, he was going through his 20s and didn't want to talk to me. I get that now that I'm older, but I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
And then I have a half sister that I've never even met, and it's just that's weird to get over. I'm over it now. She's my half sister, but we'll never actually really have a relationship, more than likely, and that's fine.
Do you think if, like, say she heard this and was kind of like,
I mean, if she ever wanted to try, I mean, I'm not opposed to it.
yeah,
But if not, I get it, because I know the backstory of everything, and that's fine. And then my entire family is actually, for the most part, from Illinois.
yeah,
And we never went back to see him my entire
what part?
life. They're from, God, I'm gonna mess this up. They're in a small town. My dad's from Hoopston, but I know they all moved out of there, so they're all in different areas now.
It's called what?
Hoopston was a small town there
okay.
where they grew up. But now I know some of them, I believe, are in Indiana or in the outskirts, and a lot of that has changed. And just with them, I just never went back as a kid. We went back once. My grandpa got remarried.
Your grandpa got remarried?
Yeah,
That's pretty badass. You don't really hear it.
My dad's mom passed away right when I was younger, right when I was being born. I think it was like my first couple of years of being alive.
Mm-hmm.
And so he ended up getting remarried. I think it was like 6-7 years down the road, which was cool. I'm glad he has somebody. But I just don't go back there, and I haven't, and it's unfortunate. So I don't even have that aspect of my family.
So do you want to go back? I mean,
I'm gonna start going back now that I'm older and I understand. And again, there's some family stuff I can't talk about, but I mean, there's just
of course.
total family drama, and no one wants to come here. I don't want to go there. My parents. It's just stuff that happened, and now everyone regrets it.
90% of family drama is just stupid. It makes no sense.
Exactly.
And then all parties involved usually have this, well, it wasn't my fault, so I'm waiting until so-and-so comes and tells me, it's their fault, or they apologize or whatever. I mean, but that's just every family, I think. I mean, or the majority of.
Yeah, it just sucked that they were across the country because I wasn't able to rekindle any type of relationship during any of that time, which just sucks. But now that was something I was hiding behind that no one knew. They just didn't know that. They saw my mom and dad are together. I have things I want, and your life can't suck.
Yeah. Which is, again, from my perspective outside looking in, that's exactly what I thought. I'm like, there's got to be more to it. There's got to be there's always darkness, but at least I was just curious, like what was going on. And then we started talking about it, and I was like, damn, like I didn't know.
Yeah, I don't ever judge people on that because they just wouldn't know. On the outside, I would think everything's fine with my life too.
Yeah, I thought the majority
not
of it.
Not that my life's bad either.
No, dude, I just thought the majority of it was because of the
relationship?
Quintessential heartbreak. Like
that just, I think, unleashed things that I've been holding in my entire life.
Yeah.
And now Bella, fast forwarding, she gets frustrated because I'm like a closed book. I'm very into the three guys of Joe Rogan, Wim Hof, and David Goggins. And if anyone knows them and wants to look them up, you'll know that they're known for just being badass motherfuckers. And that's what I'm trying to be now. I don't want to go through any of that anymore, and I just want to
Joe Rogan is my hero.
turn into a badass. That's what I'm doing now. I'm pushing my body. I don't get emotional. I want to turn into a badass. That's my ultimate goal now, and be successful.
Can I just break off a little type thing? Have you ever seen Joe Rogan working out? Like, and I'm not gonna get like,
Animal.
a little fangirl or whatever, but dude, man, he kicks the shit out of those bags. Like his kicks when he's
got to be one of the hardest kickers in the world.
Dude, no doubt. I would hate to get kicked by that guy because.
Do you know how much those bags weigh? I really don't.
Muay Thai bags, they can be
like 300 or 100 pound bags, right?
You get about 100 pounds if you're getting it,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought they're like.
It's like a regular person, like a little person,
Still, I mean, he moves that thing across the room.
Yeah, he just turns his whole hip and is like, blah, fucking tree trunk for a leg, and I'm just like, yeah, that would hurt. That would sting. That would probably hurt like a bitch. But
all that aside, though, that's not even why I like Joe. I like Joe for a knowledge standpoint from his podcast.
Yes.
I love the amount of different people he has on.
Correct.
It's just you can learn so much from diet to scientists to people that are in the UFC. You get all these different people, and that's kind of what we want to do with this, but on not famous people.
Or some famous people, whatever.
I mean, if you want to come on and you're famous, please do.
Yeah, fuck it, why not?
But I love the knowledge-based portion of that.
Yeah, he's very cerebral, and even, because I've done stand-up comedy for like 7 years now, and he does stand-up comedy, and his shit is just like craziness, and I think what it is for me with that dude is his energy is just off the chain. And
he just has a good vibe. He doesn't care about the money.
Yeah, it's like
he knows he has it.
I don't know. He's a cool dude, but so yeah, shout out to Joe Rogan, badass motherfucker, and then David Goggins. That dude's just a fucking animal.
Everybody in the world should have to read his book.
I think I have, and at first it was kind of like, holy balls, like this guy went through so much.
It takes a different
shit.
person. You have to have a certain mentality to be able to even get anything from it, because if you're, I don't like to be rude, but if you're soft, you're not going to be able to read that book and get anything from it.
Nah, you'll get offended. It'll
offended instantly.
It'll trigger somebody. You'll be like, oh my god, I was triggered by your book, Mr. Goggins.
I'm sure he does that all the time.
Yeah, he probably does. And then he tells him, stay hard.
Stay hard. Fuck off.
Fuck off. Stay hard. Pussy. No, he's really...
I might even get a tattoo that says stay hard.
Dude,
really debating.
Get it on your dick. That would be fucking hilarious when you're like 65 years old. You look back and go, stay hard.
I don't think I could take that.
That would be fucking... I don't think I could do that, to be honest with you. But, I've tattooed all parts of the body, but yeah. Men's genitalias, I just won't do it. That's not my thing, man. I won't.
I might not get it down there anyways.
It would be a fucking funny thing, though.
It'd be hilarious.
Stay hard.
It's redirect.
Redirecting. So, yeah, man, that's... And then who were you talking about? Your third?
Wim Hof. I don't know if I've told you about him, but I don't know if you've gone into the research on him. But he's just an insane person in general. Mm-hmm. He has the records for, he's able to get into below freezing water.
Oh,
he's in there for hours, and his body temperature doesn't change.
That's nuts.
Now, for people that know anything about science, that's...
And hypothermia, it's...
insane. You can get hypothermia in like a minute.
Yeah.
He just sits in there for hours, just
and
doing his breathing technique.
And that's... how long is he in there?
He does it... So his class is my brother introduced me to him. I don't want to take all this credit like I did it.
Yeah.
My brother introduced me to him 6 months ago when I was going through some anxiety issues. Stemming from that, ever since... for like the past year, I've just had these anxiety issues through the roof, and he introduced me to him. And what you do is you're over oxygenating your body. You get up, you do some yoga, then you take huge breath in and a half a breath out. Mm-hmm. And huge breath in, half a breath out. general reasons. There's techniques to it. You need to watch videos, and you need to lay down. You can't do it in water because you can pass out. Totally safe though. And by doing that, you're over-oxygenating your brain. And then on the last one, you push it all out, and then you hold your breath for as long as you can. You do a couple cycles of that, and then you can get into ice cold water, and you just stay in there until you start to think you're going to start shivering, and then you get out. So that's how you can introduce hypothermia, is when you start to shiver. So you go as long as you can in that cold water, just being relaxed. And it's changed my life from an anxiety standpoint. I've learned how to control my anxiety to a T. It's insane. Like if I start to get anxious, I can get to this point and it's just gone in 10 minutes. I'm just good.
So you do like your breathing.
I have a little internal thing I can do now, but
Nice.
if it ever got to a point where it was really bad and I couldn't even handle it anymore, I would do that whole set of his breathing and I'd be good. But it's really good for inflammation, anxiety. So putting all those together, I got my knowledge from Joe, I get my relaxation and calmness from Wim, and then David Goggins just tells me to stay hard and go fucking work out.
Total
and run those
badassery.
miles.
Yeah.
And I think with those three combos, you can ultimately just be a badass, and that's what I want to try to be.
You know, obviously what this whole show is about is one thing we haven't really talked about. So what are your tattoos? I mean, you know, for the listeners and the viewers, let's explain the reasoning for your tattoos.
On my tattoos, which you're going to see at the end of this video, we'll kind of do a little montage of everything and what he did today and what I currently have. What my sleeve is going to be, what I have now. It is a Phoenix skyline with a basketball under it or kind of in it. And in the basketball is family, because my mom and my dad, and I just am trying to rekindle my relationships with my family. So that's one of my core values. Love, just trying to spread good vibes and love as much as I can without being a dick. I just try not to be a dick. I'm sure I am sometimes, and I feel bad about it, but another core is love. And then I have passion and motivation. Kind of before I even knew about David Goggins and all them, it's just I want to be passionate about what I'm doing, and I want to stay motivated. And I feel like those two keys to living a successful life. You got to stay motivated, and you just got to stay passionate. So I put those inside of a basketball because I've been playing basketball since I was about 5. Was a very successful player here in Arizona. Went to Ironwood High School. Had some rough years in high school. Coaching issues, so we never really lived up to our full potential from that perspective. Basketball is a huge part of my life. It's created and turned me into who I am today. So I put my core values in the basketball, and being from Arizona, I put the Phoenix skyline in there. We put some clouds for some cool texture. And then I put a wing on my chest. So what I want to do when I have kids is put their names, or somehow incorporate their names into the wing on my chest, because I want my kids' names or their birth dates, something. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I want to have my kids close to my heart. And then what he's working on now is a tattoo that is going to be an hourglass. It's going to be like, just say half full, and it's going to be death ends a life, but not a relationship. And kind of the purpose behind that is I just think when someone passes away, it is ending their life, unfortunately, but the relationship is still there that you built and you grew and you groomed throughout your life. And I just want to put that there. And then for my forearm, I'm going to put, it's from experience came pain, from pain came purpose. And with that, it's kind of what I always told myself during the depression, and how I got out of my depression is all that experience that I was going through gave me pain, but from that pain came purpose in life. And that's where I'm going to get my purpose, is all the bad times in life have a meaning, they have a purpose, and it gives you life, I guess, per se. And then I'm going to put some roses on my forearm. and the kind of design up into my elbow. And that's pretty much it. And all the reasons behind it are just strictly, they all have a little bit of meaning behind everything about my life. And I just, from my perspective, I want to put things on my body that mean something to me. But I love tattoos enough to where if you're just getting tattoos because you like the cool design, go for it. I think it's cool. I think you should be able to do whatever you want to do. I think that's about it.
That's good, man. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun journey throughout this whole process. And
Oh, yeah.
I'm
excited. I just want to get it done. I wish I could not have to sit here and... Tattooing is not painful, in my opinion. I think it's pretty simple.
You just have to take yourself to a different place, and that's, again, when we started talking about the podcast and everything, where all this stemmed from was I started telling you about when you were saying, hey man, I battle with depression. And I said, well, that's crazy because, again, you've got a good family, you've got a good life, from the outside looking in. I'm just thinking, what's wrong? Like, what's the deal,
Yeah.
So we started talking about that and in great detail and, kind of not one-upping or trying to, like, swap stories and stuff, but it was just kind of like there were certain chords that really hit, they resonated with me.
Yeah.
And part of why we're doing, Beyond the Ink is, you get a lot of these people, I say, that are dealing with depression, that are dealing with their demons, and they're losing their fight.
Yeah.
And
we want to get to those people, and
I do.
Tell them that it's okay.
I do want to get to some people and be like, hey man, like, you'd be surprised, some of the happiest people, and I know that's, you'll hear that on the news, you'll hear it on, celebrities and people doing dumb shit, but I wanted to make sure that, again, our target audience is aware that you've got a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, it gets rough. Yeah, it gets, shitty and at times, and but there are more people that deal with this than they lead on. You don't see it and you say,
"Oh
wow."
Just trying to hide it.
Yeah, everybody tries to hide that and tries to be like, until
even if people want to keep it hidden, I want this to get out there that it's okay, that you're not alone.
Well, the funny thing is they try to keep it hidden until they sit down to get tattooed. And the reason why I say that is because you get a lot of people. I hear a lot of stories, and again, the reason why I wanted to start this podcast was because they're amazing stories. I always say I have the best clients in the world, and that's just truth, because they're not trying to get anything or do anything, but a lot of the majority of the clients would use tattooing as a form of getaway, like the physical pain to balance out the emotional pain. That was real. That was why tattoos didn't hurt, and it affected me. I was thinking about that a lot because, again, me too. I've gone through, I've experienced a lot of depression in my life. I've had some shitty things happen in my life, and we'll get into all that eventually.
Thought I think the next episode when I'm getting tattooed, we'll go more into Matt's life in detail, not just mine.
So I mean, the crazy thing about that is, like, having shitty situations and not expecting, but again, not stopping, dude. I never stopped. I never, I could have quit. I could have sold drugs and done all this other stuff. We'll get into all that. But the thing is, I used tattooing and getting tattooed as my escape. Yeah. Because that pain, which is why people were like, dude, how do you fall asleep when you're getting tattooed? Well, I'm not Billy Badass. It's just soothing for me. It's just something that I would use the physical pain.
Think about something else.
Yeah, I would use the physical pain to balance out the emotional pain. And to be quite honest, I'd rather have physical pain than have emotional pain. I'm like, fuck that, you know? And so I felt like if we put it on a bigger forum, you know, and we put it on a bigger platform, then
we can try to do better.
We can try to help people out. Mental health of some people are just, they're teetering right now. And let's say it does help one person. Somebody's listening and they're like, hey, dude, that was really cool. So, I mean, if you are that person, seriously, if you're listening and you're here, down below, leave a comment, you know.
Come on.
Don't think if you're, I mean, again, this is such a big platform. If you're out of state or if you're, you know, I travel the entire United States.
Yes.
I mean, we could come to you. We could, you know, we could work it out to where.
We'll work out the logistics.
Yeah.
Just hit us up.
If it's a great thing and a great story, and hell yeah, you know, I'm down.
You give us your
fun.
story. You just, even if you don't want to leave it in the comment, your story and all that stuff.
Email it.
Find us on social media. Mostly on those things. Find Matt. Let him know what's going on. He can get you logistics, prices, and we can find a way to get to you.
Yeah, and then we work and we do it, and you know, get you in here, get you on there, get you learn your story. You know, why did you get your tattoo? You know.
Exactly.
I mean, again go back to hearing a lot of tattoo artists that don't really like this story. They're just like, sit down, shut up, get tattooed. You know. I've worked in some shops where they're like that, and I'm just like, how are you such a dick to discount someone's story and just basically wash it away? Like, no big deal, you know?
Yeah. I mean, you were my first tattoo artist, so I think I'm spoiled. I never got
You never
a
had
bad
that
artist.
You never had that guy tell you, the
Never had
stupid
this
man.
Shitty artist. So.
Let me just do it my way. Let me put my spin on it, which is fine, artistically. But when you shoot down somebody's idea because it's not something that you know you feel, it's like, dude, that has nothing to, like, take your ego out of it. You know.
Yeah.
Which is hard for some people to do. Some people to not have an ego is like to not have an identity. You know, and I know how that sounds really shitty, but it's so true in this industry, man. All right, so yeah, I mean, again, if we're gonna travel, we're gonna do a bunch of stuff. My whole thing is to learn the story, learn it. I mean, I know some people are it's gonna be frowned upon in certain establishments, but hey, if you're not doing something that people aren't worried about, then I don't think you're that successful. So.
Yeah, we're gonna start cranking them out every Sunday, 2 weeks. So 2 a month on a Sunday.
Yeah.
So it's coming up this September 1st on Sunday, and then every 2 weeks from then on out. Yep. And as it progresses, we will move to every Sunday. I think is our goal.
Absolutely,
and
it'll be coming from different areas of the world. Different cities, you know, again, so if you have a cool idea, you want to share your story, cool tattoos, let me know, inbox me, you know, email, DM, however you want to do it, and we'll get you on, we'll get you going, and we want to know what it is for you, to be beyond the ink. So
I'm excited.
It's gonna be a great time. Again, if you're still here, comment down below, give it a thumbs up, give it a like, follow us on our journey, hit us up, and yeah, we'll be putting these out.
Subscribe, follow us on our social medias.
Yes, and share.
Subscribe and share, and you guys will see Matt in the next video. I'll be behind the camera, and I hope you guys enjoyed.
Yeah, hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with us, and I look forward to doing a lot more of these, and you know, getting your input. So yeah, come along with our journey here, and
heck yeah. See you guys in
next
episode
time.
2.
Yep.
Peace.
Bye.